Hello everyone, this is Paul from SpanishWithPaul.com and welcome to this week's Spanish lesson. This time around we're going to talk about the past in Spanish, which is a really big subject. In my main course, we start learning about the past tenses around about level 6 and we go through a lot of different modules from there on to be able to master it. So in this lesson, what I'm basically going to do is scratch the surface of it for you. If you'd like to download the course book for this lesson, you'll find a link on the screen right now, and I've also put that same link in the description box below this video. So now, without further ado, let's get started. There are many different ways and many different tenses that you can use to talk about the past in Spanish. One of the most common ways to do this is using something called the preterite tense. So this is where we're saying things like I did, I spoke, I ate, I walked, I saw. This is also referred to as the simple past. So I'll show you now how to do it. What's the verb to speak? Hablar. Now, if we want to express I spoke, we would go back to the full verb and replace this AR ending with an E that has an accent on top. So the sound we get is hablé, hablé. Your pronunciation is very important here. To be understood, you must stress that final letter, hablé. This means I spoke. How do you say with him? Con él. Now try to say I spoke with him. Hablé con él. What's the word for yesterday? Ayer. Now try to say I spoke with him yesterday. Hablé con él ayer. To say this morning would be esta mañana. How would you say I spoke with him this morning? Hablé con él esta mañana. To say I didn't speak would simply be no hablé. So hablé, I spoke, but I didn't speak. No hablé. How would you say I didn't speak with him? No hablé con él. How do you say with her? Con ella. Now try to say I didn't speak with her this morning. No hablé con ella esta mañana. What's the word for today? Hoy. Now say I didn't speak with her today. No hablé con ella hoy. What's the word for with you? Contigo. Now say I spoke with you yesterday. Hablé contigo ayer. The expression I think that or I believe that is creo que. Creo que. Let's use it. How would you say I think that I spoke with you yesterday? Creo que hablé contigo ayer. What's the word we normally use for about? Sobre. Now try to say, today I spoke with her about the house. Hoy hablé con ella sobre la casa. What's the verb to wait? Esperar. Now, to express I waited, again you would go back to the full verb, get rid of this AR ending, and replace it with an E with an accent on the top. So the sound you get is esperé. Esperé. It's very important that you stress this final accent here over the E in order to be understood. Esperé. This means I waited. What's the word for here? Aquí. Now say, I waited here. Esperé aquí. How do you say all day? Todo el día. Now say, I waited here all day. Esperé aquí todo el día. Once again, how do you say, I spoke with him? Hablé con él. I didn't speak with him. No hablé con él. Now try this one. I waited here all day yesterday, and I didn't speak with him. Esperé aquí todo el día ayer y no hablé con él. What's the verb to buy? Comprar. Now, to express I bought, we go to the full verb. Just as before, we get rid of this AR ending and replace it with an E with an accent. So the sound we get is compré. Compré. This means I bought. How would you say I bought it? Lo compré. Literally, it I bought. Try to say, I bought it this morning. Lo compré esta mañana. What about, I bought it today? Lo compré hoy. How would you say, I didn't buy it? No lo compré. I didn't buy it yesterday. No lo compré ayer. How do you say for you? Para ti. Now try to say, I bought it for you. Lo compré para ti. How do you say for him? Para él. I bought it for him this morning. Lo compré para él esta mañana. How do you say for her? Para ella. Now say, I didn't buy it for her. No lo compré para ella. What's the word for the book in Spanish? El libro. Now say, I bought the book. Compré el libro. I bought the book for you yesterday. Compré el libro para ti ayer. In a previous lesson, we looked at the pronoun for myself. What is that in Spanish? Me. How would you say, I bought myself? Me compré. Literally, myself I bought. What's the word for a gift or a present? Un regalo. Now try to say, I bought myself a present. Me compré un regalo. What's the word for a coffee? Un café. Now say, I bought myself a coffee this morning. Me compré un café esta mañana. What's the verb to call? Llamar. Now, to express I called, we go back to llamar, and I think you can guess what's probably going to happen. We get rid of the AR ending and replace it with an E and an accent. So the sounds we get is llamé, llamé. This means I called. The word for early in Spanish is temprano, temprano. And to say earlier, in Spanish what you do is more early, which would be más temprano, más temprano. How would you say, I called earlier? Llamé más temprano. To say I called you would be te llamé. Literally, you I called, or to you I called. Te llamé. How would you say, I called you earlier? Te llamé más temprano. What about, I called you earlier today? Te llamé más temprano hoy. Once again, what's the word for about? Sobre. And what's the word for in order to? Para. Now try this one. I called you earlier today to talk about the house. Be careful here. Te llamé más temprano para hablar sobre la casa. Hopefully you remembered from a previous lesson that whenever we have in order to implied, we're going to throw in the word para in Spanish. How do you say the problem? El problema. Now try this. I called you this morning to talk about the problem. Again, be careful. Te llamé más temprano para hablar sobre el problema. How do you say we have? Tenemos. Now try one more. I called you this morning to talk about the problem that we have with the house. Pause and think it out step by step. Te llamé más temprano para hablar sobre el problema que tenemos con la casa. What's the verb to explain? Explicar. Now, to express I explained, I wonder if you could do that on your own. So the verb is explicar. Try to guess how you would say I explained. The answer is expliqué. You'll notice that we have an irregularity here with the spelling. So let's go back to the full verb. Once again, you would get rid of the AR, but this time, instead of replacing it with an E, it gets replaced with a QUE, like this. So the spelling has an irregularity, but not the sound, because we still have expliqué. Expliqué. This means I explained. How would you say I explained it? Lo expliqué. Literally, it I explained. The word for already is very short in Spanish. It's simply ya. Ya. To say something like, I already explained it. In Spanish, they would throw this word already way up front here of the sentence. So how would you say that? I already explained it. Ya lo expliqué. Literally, already it I explained. How do you say what happened? ¿Qué pasó? Now try, I already explained what happened. Ya expliqué qué pasó. Once again, what's the verb to speak? Hablar. How do you say I spoke? Hablé. Now try to say, I already explained that I spoke with her yesterday. Ya expliqué que hablé con ella ayer. What's the verb to wait? Esperar. And how would you say, I waited? Esperé. Try this one. I already explained that I waited here all day. Ya expliqué que esperé aquí todo el día. What's the little pronoun for myself? Me. How would you say, I explained myself? Me expliqué. The word for well in Spanish is bien. Bien. How would you say, I didn't explain myself well? No me expliqué bien. What's the verb to call? Llamar. How would you say, I called? Llamé. Now try this one. I explained that I called earlier to talk with him about the problem that we have. Again, be careful. Expliqué que llamé más temprano para hablar con él sobre el problema que tenemos. What's the verb to work? Trabajar. Now to say I worked, we go back to the verb trabajar, get rid of the AR, replace it with an E and an accent. So the sound we get now is trabajé. Trabajé. This means I worked. How would you say, I worked here all day? Trabajé aquí todo el día. How would you say all day yesterday? Todo el día ayer. Now say, I worked here all day yesterday. Trabajé aquí todo el día ayer. To express time frames like for 5 years would be por 5 años. Por 5 años. Try to say, I worked here for 5 years. Trabajé aquí por 5 años. To say for a long time would be por mucho tiempo. Literally for a lot of time. Por mucho tiempo. How would you say, I worked here for a long time? Trabajé aquí por mucho tiempo. How would you say, I didn't work? No trabajé. And what's the word for there? Allí. Now say this. I didn't work there for a long time. No trabajé allí por mucho tiempo. By now, you should be noticing a very clear pattern when it comes to the preterite tense in Spanish. For example, hablar goes to hablé. Esperar, esperé. Comprar, compré. Llamar, llamé. Explicar, expliqué. Trabajar, trabajé. Now, what I'd like is for you to run through that same drill. So I'll give you the full verb and then you tell me how you would convert it into the preterite tense. Here we go. Hablar goes to hablé. Esperar, esperé. Comprar, compré. Llamar, llamé. Explicar, expliqué. Trabajar, trabajé. Let's run through a final practice session now. We're going to use the phrase I'm happy, which is estoy feliz. Estoy feliz. How would you say, I'm happy that I spoke with him today? Estoy feliz que hablé con él hoy. I'm happy that I waited here. Estoy feliz que esperé aquí. I'm happy that I bought it. Estoy feliz que lo compré. I bought myself. Me compré. I'm happy that I bought myself a present. Estoy feliz que me compré un regalo. I'm happy that I called you to talk about the problem. Be careful. Estoy feliz que te llamé para hablar sobre el problema. I'm happy that I explained myself well. Estoy feliz que me expliqué bien. If you're serious about learning Spanish and want to become conversationally fluent, my main course, Spanish with Paul, is live and available for you now. Inside you'll get my complete course, none of which is available on YouTube, and also my personal attention to make sure you achieve conversational fluency in the fastest time possible. In short, if you like my free lessons on YouTube and the results they're giving you, then you'll love what I have for you inside the main course. You can click the link on the screen now to find out all the details. So with that said, I look forward to seeing you again in my next video.